In the flourishing expanse of the 16th century Ottoman Empire, a beacon of scientific genius was preparing to illuminate the world of astronomy. This light was a man named Taqi al-Din Muhammad ibn Maruf al-Shami al-Asadi, a polymath of extraordinary talent. He was born in Damascus in the year 1526, a city with a rich and storied intellectual heritage. His lineage was one of learning, setting a clear path for his future scholarly pursuits. Taqi al-Din received a comprehensive education, delving deep into both the theological and the rational sciences. He spent his formative years studying in Damascus, and later in Cairo, the intellectual heart of the Mamluk and later Ottoman territories. His sharp intellect was not confined to a single discipline. He was a true polymath. His expertise spanned astronomy, mathematics, engineering, optics, and even clock-making. For a time, he served the empire as a Qadi, or judge, a position of significant social and legal responsibility. This role took him to various parts of the vast Ottoman lands, broadening his experience of the world. However, his true passion remained the stars and the intricate mechanics of the cosmos. In 1570, Taqi al-Din made the pivotal decision to move to Istanbul, the vibrant capital of the empire. His reputation as a brilliant scholar had preceded him, opening doors to the highest circles of power. Just a year later, in 1571, Sultan Selim II appointed him as Bunir-e-Bashi, the chief astronomer, or Dehi. This prestigious appointment placed him at the apex of the scientific community within the empire. He began his observational work using existing structures, such as a building in the Tofain district. Taqi al-Din found powerful allies who shared his vision, including the Grand Vizier Sokolu Mehmed Pasha. He argued persuasively that the existing astronomical tables, the Zai Sultani of Ulugh Beg, were no longer accurate. He declared that new, precise observations were necessary for the glory and practical needs of the Ottoman state. He envisioned an institution dedicated solely to the science of the stars, a true house of observation. Sultan Murad III, a patron of the arts and sciences, was convinced by Taqi al-Din's ambitious proposal. The Sultan granted generous funding and imperial support for the construction of a grand new observatory. A prime location was chosen on a high hill in the Tofain area, on the European side of Istanbul. This site offered an unobstructed view of the sky, far from the smoke and lights of the lower city. Construction on what would be called the Dar al-Rasad, or the new observatory, began in 1575. The project was an immense undertaking, a symbol of Ottoman imperial power and scientific ambition. Two large buildings formed the core of the institution, one for observation and one for study. It also housed a magnificent library, filled with the most important astronomical and mathematical texts of the age. By 1577, the Istanbul Observatory was complete, a marvel of scientific architecture. It was, for its time, one of the largest and most advanced astronomical observatories in the entire world. Its scale and ambition were rivaled only by Tycho Brahe's Uraniborg, which was being built around the same time in Denmark. Taqi al-Din assembled a team of 16 brilliant astronomers, the finest minds in the empire. This team worked tirelessly, driven by a shared goal to chart the heavens with unprecedented accuracy. The heart of the observatory was its collection of state-of-the-art astronomical instruments. Many were based on classic Islamic designs, but built on a larger and more precise scale. One of the most impressive was the mural quadrant, fixed to a wall for measuring the precise altitude of celestial bodies. An azimuthal semicircle was used to measure the azimuths and altitudes of the stars. He also built a triquetraprum, or rulers of parallax, an ancient device used to measure the zenith distances of stars. Taqi al-Din also invented new instruments, pushing the boundaries of observational technology. His Mushabaha Bialmanatik was a novel type of framed sextant for measuring the angular distance between stars. Perhaps his most significant contribution was the application of a mechanical astronomical clock for observations. This clock, featuring 3 dials showing hours, minutes, and seconds, was a marvel of engineering. He was the first astronomer to use a mechanical clock to measure the right ascension of the planets. This innovation allowed for a level of accuracy in timing that was previously unimaginable. He described this groundbreaking device in his book, The Brightest Stars for the Construction of Mechanical Clocks. The primary mission of the observatory was to correct and update the Zai of Ulu Beg. The team conducted meticulous observations of the sun, the moon, and the fixed stars. Taqi al-Din's methods were notably modern. He was a pioneer in the use of decimal fractions. He preferred them over the cumbersome sexagesimal, base 60, fractions used by his predecessors. His resulting tables of sines and tangents were calculated with extraordinary precision. The values he determined for the solar apogee and the annual movement of the sun were more accurate than Copernicus's. His work represented the pinnacle of Islamic astronomical achievement before the widespread adoption of the telescope. Then, in the autumn of 1577, a spectacular event occurred that would change the observatory's fate. The Great Comet of 1577 appeared in the heavens, a celestial visitor visible to all. Jain Murad III, like all rulers of his time, was deeply concerned by such omens. He summoned his chief astronomer, Taqi al-Din, and demanded a prognostication. Taqi al-Din studied the comet's path and brightness with his advanced instruments. He interpreted the appearance of the comet as a positive omen for the empire. He prophesied that it signaled a great military victory for the Ottoman armies over their Safavid Persian rivals. This prediction placed the observatory and its director at the center of political and military expectations. Unfortunately, the prophecy did not unfold as predicted. While the Ottomans did achieve some successes, the war was costly and not the decisive victory that was foretold. To make matters worse, a devastating plague broke out in Istanbul shortly thereafter. A combination of a failed prophecy and a deadly epidemic created a volatile atmosphere. Taqi al-Din's political enemies, who were wary of his influence, saw their opportunity. A powerful opposition faction began to mobilize against the observatory. This group was led by the influential Shaykhul Islam, the highest religious authority in the empire. They argued that the observatory was a form of blasphemy. They claimed that attempting to pry into the secrets of the heavens was an affront to God. The comet and the plague were presented as divine punishment for this hubris. A rumor was spread that no state that had engaged in such observations had ever remained prosperous. Shaykhul Islam issued a formal fatwa, a religious edict, calling for the observatory's destruction. The pressure on Sultan Murad III became immense. He was caught between his scientific curiosity and the powerful clerical establishment. Disappointed by the failed prophecy and facing widespread unrest, the Sultan finally relented. In January of 1580, the fateful order was given. The magnificent Dara al-Rasad al-Jadid was to be razed to the ground. Under the command of Khalid Ali Pasha, the Ottoman fleet was dispatched to carry out the sentence. Soldiers and sailors landed and marched up the hill to the silent observatory. The destruction was swift and brutally efficient. Great armillary sphere was dismantled, its rings bent and broken. The mural quadrant was torn from the wall, its stones toppled. The precious library, filled with irreplaceable knowledge, was likely scattered, lost. In a single night, one of the world's foremost scientific institutions, was reduced to rubble. The dream of Taqi al-Din, a project of immense ambition and genius, was utterly shattered. The observatory had been operational for less than 3 years. Its destruction marked a tragic turning point in the history of science in the Ottoman Empire. It effectively ended the great tradition of observational astronomy that had flourished in the Islamic world for centuries. Taqi al-Din himself lived for another 5 years, a shadow of his former influence. He continued to write, but the grand observational project was lost forever. He died in Istanbul in 1585, his life's greatest achievement, a painful memory. The story of the Istanbul Observatory is a brilliant but brief chapter in scientific history. It stands as a powerful testament to individual genius and the complex interplay of science, religion, and politics. It is a cautionary tale about how quickly progress can be undone by fear and intrigue. Taqi al-Din is remembered as the last of the great Islamic astronomers, a final, brilliant star in a fading constellation.